Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Haitians in Medicine podcast brought to you by the Speak Up Network. So today we're going to be talking with Miss Jennifer Deneus, who is a psych DNP student and a BSN graduate and a current med-surg nurse. So, Jennifer, let's talk about your journey and what brought you here today.
Okay, so growing up, I always really wanted to work in the medicine field, the healthcare field, really. At first, I wanted to be a pediatrician, but throughout my journey of going to Long Beach Middle School and West Boca High School, which had like a medical academy, I was able to shadow healthcare professionals and stuff like that, and I just fell in love with nursing. The type of person that I am, I really just like being able to connect with people. Yeah, and even if it's not long-term, just fostering those relationships, being able to see them and care for them at their most vulnerable moments. I just really liked and appreciated that, the art of nursing over, come in, hello, how are you, come out, you know what I mean? So, yeah, that's why I wanted to do nursing, and nursing is just such a really big career to have. Like, you can do anything with nursing. It's really
it's very versatile.
You can do flight nursing, drama nurse. You can you can have your doctorate. You can do legal nursing. You can literally do so much, and there's so many different certifications that you can get. So yeah, just the long-term benefits, the security that you have with the job, and just how rewarding it is what made me really want to go into nursing.
So, what kind of nursing you do now?
I'm a medical surgical nurse at North Broward in Deerfield. So basically, the type of patients that I care for come for like your usual stuff. So it could be like abdominal pain, it could be kidney disease, liver failure. Sometimes we get respiratory patients. Just like the generalized diseases or disorders that you could possibly get. Those are the patients that I usually care for.
All right. So, how do you like it? Because a lot of people, what I've realized is when they do med-surg nurse, they say it is rough. So, what are some of the, atrocities that you see, and what are some of the highs that you see?
Okay. It's super demanding. It's really, really, really demanding. And it's more so frustrating too, because as a nurse, I came into the profession wanting to actually provide quality care for patients, and I do so in the time that I'm allotted. But with how the healthcare system is set up, it's kind of more about metrics and numbers.
Oh, definitely.
More so than what you're actually doing for the patient. So it's more about trying to get as much patients as possible, turnover rate and stuff like that. So it kind of gets frustrating when, you have to do so many things within a timely manner. You can't necessarily do or take out all the tasks that you like to do for a specific patient because you want to provide that individualized plan of care, but you can't because you have so many things to do within that 12, 13, 14 hours. So yeah, that's bedside nursing it's good and it's good and it's bad. It's not for everyone. If you're easily frustrated or whatever, I wouldn't say, everyone has to start out somewhere, and usually bedside nursing is that. But I think for me personally, I'm just trying to get my experience and move on because it's not cutting it out.
Bedside nursing will burn you to a crisp. You see how I hit that hard P? Because it will burn you to a crisp. I currently do bedside nursing right now, and I feel my knees by the end of the shift. My knees and my ankles and my hips. I feel all the joints,
all of that,
all of it. And I'm just Lord,
because you're literally running up and down trying to do all these things to the patients. You're trying to, group up all your tasks. So you're okay, I have to pass meds, but I'm also going to do wound care at this time. And I have to remember that these patient likes his pain meds. I have to get his pain meds too. And, now he wants water. So I got to run back and then run back again. Oh, he wants juice. Now I got to run back and run back again. Sometimes I get patients who, they're suffering from mental health disorders. or sometimes they're drunk. Sometimes they come in with drug intoxication or overdose, and those patients are super duper needy.
Oh, very much so. And and the thing is, like, especially with patients like that, you have to be on them because they're on seizure precautions. They need a banana bag. You need to make sure that they're not shaking to the point where, Lord,
right? You got to do your CY assessments.
Girl.
You need your neuro checks every 4-8 hours, whatever. It's
a lot.
It is.
So, okay, how, like, working in COVID? Well, now that, on top of that, on a regular day, how is it now with the extra added COVID part?
In the beginning of, when all this was coming, especially to Broward County, it was hectic. It was confusing because every hour there was a change in what we had to do as far as like personal protective equipment. Everyone hears about reusing masks, reusing gowns, and stuff like that. And you hear about it, and then it's one thing to hear about it. It's one thing to actually have to put your mask in a paper bag.
Oh, yeah, I put my mask in a paper bag. It sucks.
It's insane, like, having to do that when, like a few months ago, you gotta, like a rule out TB patient or whatever, and you throw out your mask every single time.
Exactly.
And for you not to be able to do that, it's just kind of scary, especially when you have an actual positive patient, because it's like, okay, I can't throw out basically the germs that these people was coughing up in their room and stuff.
Girl, imagine when I heard some hospitals, they have to reuse the gowns.
Yes, we reuse our gowns.
Oh, my God.
My managers gave me hooks to put in my patient's room to place my gown.
That's what I heard. Oh, my God.
Yes. So imagine you have to put on the gown over your head, and I'm literally leaning back the farthest, stretching the plastic, trying not to touch it at all.
That's exactly what's going on. Like, well, we haven't reached the gowns part yet, but they've been on the actual, the COVID floor, the floors where they get the most COVID patients, they have the big gas mask. And then if you're not a regular, I'm not a regular on those floors, they just give us the N95. And then on top of the N95, you have to wear a surgical mask because when you get out of the room, you throw out the surgical mask, but you keep the N95.
Oh, no, honey. We kept both.
Oh, my God.
Both the surgical and the N95. We didn't. And our floor was the second to receive COVID patients. So 9th floor was kind of the designated COVID floor. Same. And then our floor was kind of the overflow. So some of the rooms that weren't negative pressure were made to have negative pressure. So they brought in
and then the thing is that everybody if it's to a blind eye, to Jess, he could see the rooms and be like, oh, I didn't know anything. But me, once I see them bags, I already know what time it is. I already know what time it is.
Thankfully, we've seen a huge decrease in numbers. We don't really get those patients as much anymore. So we're just really thankful for that. But it was definitely a scary moment.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
To be working in.
So have you witnessed any in the beginning of your journey, especially as a new nurse, have you witnessed some of the downsides of nursing, such as nurse bullying, such as having to hit those numbers? Because I know especially with the boards and the whiteboards where they make sure that you have to write who's your nurse, what's your symptoms, what medications are you on. If not, some of those stuff, sometimes administration tries to come down on new nurses and even the older nurses, oh, well, this is what's happening because you, we're trying to hit these numbers. It's all about numbers. So, tell me some of those downsides, especially being new in the field, a year later than when you first started.
So when I first started, it was kind of insane because on a med-surg floor, you can literally get so many different types of patients, and you have to literally be able to know what's going on with each of them, rather than on a specialized floor, where it can just be cardiac patients or neuro patients or whatever. But on med-surg, it's a wide variety of different patients, and there's different tasks that you have to do for each of them. So for me, I just had to really write everything down, my preceptor, whatever she said, I wrote it down.
I'm so sorry.
I'm not gonna lie. The nurses are pretty supportive. Throughout the day, they'll ask you, how you're doing. Do you need any help? Like, how are you feeling? Stuff like that. In the beginning, kind of once you get your own routine, they still ask, but not as often. I think, like, the biggest thing for me was just not telling myself to not rely on my memory, to literally write everything down, because I would.
I learned that the hard way.
I'm perfectly fine. I'm going to remember everything. Oh, no, I forget to do things. I forget to chart things, like important things. So it's basically just about, like, setting up a routine for yourself. So when you're with your preceptor, the month or 2-3 months, whatever, that is your time to really set up how you're going to go about your day, everything that you're going to do, like how in the morning after you get report, how do you look up your patients? How do you write out your med schedule? All the little things, like, they really actually make a big importance in how your day goes and just the flow of your week, really. But yeah, I haven't really experienced, like, bullying per se. Maybe, little comments here and there, or, just people, like, their personality kind of nasty a little bit. But I really, I don't fault them, because I'm not going to lie. Sometimes when I come into work, I don't want to be at work.
Girl, when you was talking about being canceled, when I got canceled on Thursday, ask Jesse. I came in here, I was happy as a clam. Right. I didn't need no shot, no nothing. I was being canceled, changed my whole night.
When they call me at 5 o'clock and say, "Oh, you're being canceled," I say, "Thank you, Jesus." Oh my God, thank you, Jesus.
Probably someone who feels me. People don't be. When I be saying I be canceled,
take all my PL.
Girl, I called Jesse so quick. I said I got canceled, man.
Yeah, especially since I work day shifts, so I have to be up. I have to be up pretty freaking early to get there, like, to be awake, be actually awake.
I cannot.
And then get there and be able to take report from the night shift who is done. They want to go to sleep.
Girl, when it's night shift, when it's 7 a.m. and I be seeing people walk in, I be like,
"Let's go.
Here's your patience, baby.
Here's your Cardex.
This is this.
Grab your pen. Let's go. Yeah, like, yeah, I could pull up, 6:58. I'm pulling up. I walk up to the nurse's station and I'm ready for huddle. And they're like, "I have your patients. I have your team." I'm like, "Okay.
I just got here.
Can I put my lunch down?" No? Well, all right. Let me just follow you.
My God. Girl, you be there, bags in hand.
Right. Like, okay, this patient's going to surgery today. Okay. I wish people could see us.
Bro, I'm telling you, I be at work. Like, y'all just don't want to see me at work.
I'd be so over it. I'd be over it.
After 3, don't. If you don't have chest pain or you can't breathe, don't call me. It's after 3. It's 3 a.m. What do you need? Close your eyes.
I hate when patients, like, I told them specifically, "Here's my Cisco number. Here's my number. Please call me."
They ring the call light.
Call light.
Like, you ain't just reminded. I'll be quick like this. This number is a direct line to me. I will pick up. I'll be so quick right before I walk out the room. Don't forget my direct line. Direct line.
You walk out 2 minutes later. Oh, who on the light? Your patient. You're so embarrassing.
Oh my God. I'm so tired of people. But I still love taking care of y'all.
Right. You're just annoying me. They're like just kids. They're just like kids. Now.
So what are some of the hardships that people don't know, like, that you had to face when you were in nursing school?
For me specifically, I think it was just about me being so involved. Me being in having so many different hats. That was a little difficult. Nursing, it's more so like reading, repetition, and practice. You know what I mean?
Literally telling Stanley that the other day, because he was like trying to recite to me, and I was like, we learn very different, because I'm like, with me, I always, like, mnemonics was my best friend.
Yeah.
Like, with him, when I was like, think of left side heart failure. What do you think of? And he was trying so hard to name these, like, 10 things. And I was just like, with me, left side heart failure, all head. Ascites. Weight gain.
It's girl, left lung.
You see, and
then right body. That's about it.
I be in here, Jennifer.
Yeah. that's what actually helped me learn. I came, my freshman year, I found out the hard way. It's not no high school no more. You gotta actually study.
Exactly. And that took me taking anatomy twice before I realized how to study.
Like, you need to study, and that could mean reading the chapters beforehand, trying to or like at least skimming over it, trying to get a gist of like what exactly the professor is going to be teaching about, then paying attention during lecture. You have to pay attention. You got to write your notes, color code if you have to, or like write little silly stuff. Like, silly stuff will make you, well, for me, it made me understand and remember a lot of the material. Lenses. Like, yeah, like you, if it's a lot of, if it's a certain disease that has these different signs and symptoms or whatever, and you're trying to remember it, like if you could make up some type of funny song or whatever it is, that's what really helped me.
Definitely.
Also, some professors, they'll really go out and find resources for you to help you learn better. So it could be like videos, it could be like YouTube videos, or it could be videos that they put themselves. Oh, shout out to her.
Girl,
shout
out
to her.
The best.
She's amazing.
Amazing.
Shout out to her. Thank you for NCLEX. So, yeah. So, and sometimes they be putting those little PowerPoint snippets or whatever on their test. So it's really important. If your professor is going to go out and they're willing to put up resources for you, worksheets, PowerPoints, videos, whatever it may be, actually use them, because you never know.
You don't.
And it may help you too, because it's different ways of learning. So it'll help you find exactly what your niche is.
Definitely. So one thing that people don't know that we're going to discuss about is having TPS. How hard was it to be a university student having TPS, and what were some ways that you were able to overcome and get yourself through school with that?
So getting out of high school, you hear about, I'm applying for scholarships and applying for this and applying for that. I'm like, okay, cool. I didn't really know what my status was until it came
just in case you guys didn't know, TPS means temporary protective status, and it's given to
so basically after Haiti had the earthquake, what America did was basically granted temporary protected status to the people who were already here, or I believe those who were in the midst of coming, in order to just basically protect them from deportation and give them the ability to drive and to work, gave them a social security card, and it was basically at 18 months at a time. And after that 18 months, it was up. If the government wanted to, you'd be able to reapply. So TPS is still actually a program for Haiti, which is really great. So people can still be able to reapply. I think actually now you don't have to reapply. They're just doing extensions.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, but the thing is with having TPS here, you don't have any of the rights like a permanent resident or a citizen would. So when it was time to, do my FAFSA and stuff like that, they asked me for my status, and I was like, I don't know. So I asked my mom, and she was telling me all the stuff. And I was like, oh, so that means I basically can't get anything from the FAFSA, basically. So there was no point in filling, I filled it out, and, of course, they told me, you're unable to. But thankfully, I really didn't give up. I knew how expensive college was going to be. I knew how expensive, the books and all the other miscellaneous stuff was going to add up. And, I'm my mom's only child, but my dad has other kids that he was paying for tuition for as well. Is also, financially supporting as they are his children. So I was I'm really not trying to put this strain on my parents. So I really just went out and did, everything that I could to find different, private scholarships or whatever the nursing school was, resources they were providing for us, little things like that. I went out and applied for all of them, and thankfully, I was able to get some of them. My dad did help out quite a bit, so thankfully, with all of that, I was really determined. I was able to actually graduate debt-free, so I'm very thankful.
Thank God, see?
Yeah, I'm very, very thankful.
Well, another thing, I know, Haitian parents, they love to support their kids. So what was your parents' role outside of supporting you financially to help you be successful?
Okay. So my dad actually lives in Haiti. But like we talk very often. He'd always be pushing me. He still calls me Doc to this day. Like he didn't even know. Like he just called me Doc because of my wanting to be a pediatrician. Like I told him I want to be a nurse. I'm like, eventually I'll advance in my education. But he still said he called me Doc. And thankfully it's gonna be happening, August 2023. Thank you, Jesus.
Soon come.
But my mom, I live with my mom, and I like words can't describe how she was there for me, and is still there for me. Like this lady, if I'm studying and I'm still up at 2-3 o'clock in the morning, sometimes she would stay up with me. She'd make sure that I had lunch. She'd cook for the week, and she'd actually put them in the bowls and everything. She'd do my meal prep. She'd call me throughout the day. I'd be hot. I'd be like, damn, like this lady don't. like she just called me before we started, asking me where I'm at, how I'm doing and stuff. And I'd be feeling so bad when I step at her. I'm like, I'm fine, Mom. But it's just like the little things that I realize, like I appreciate her so much because she's really just always there for me. That's my dog.
So what contributes to your success? What would you say? Like
my parents, for sure. I'm very grateful, even though there have been a lot of different hardships, and there still are, what they've instilled in me is the reason why I am the person that I am today. Like, if my mom didn't always tell me, like, after God, it's education, I would have never.
My mom tells me that every day.
I would have never, actually believed after God comes education. And it's just crazy to me because I'll see a whole bunch of, students, actual permanent residents or citizens or whatever, and they don't really take education as seriously as they probably should, given the fact that they have all of these opportunities, so they're living on campus and they're, not showing up to class. They're not taking their test exams seriously. They on their phone the whole class. I'm not trying to pay attention to other people, but at the same time, it's like, damn, like you're given this opportunity that a lot of people don't have, and you not taking it seriously at all. Like, education is pretty freaking important.
It is.
So yeah, what they've taught me and what they've made sure that I should know is important is definitely like what's contributed to my success.
Definitely. So what is something that you would have done differently?
Throughout nursing school?
Yeah, not even throughout nursing school, throughout this whole journey to get where you're.
What I would do differently? Whenever people like ask me questions like this, you always want to say like, I wouldn't do anything differently because the past shaped me to, where I am now. Like, no.
Oh, gosh.
For me, yes, my focus was definitely always on school, but because of my many hats, I did, allow some things to slip beyond my hands when it shouldn't have. So, grades were lower than they could have been because, I was focused on school, but I was also focused on this org and that org and that org and all these, committees and work and stuff like that. So I think that for me, like I would have just tried to focus more on school or prioritize my time a little different.
I felt like you were doing great. I felt like you had great time management.
There's always room for improvement.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
There's always room for improvement. I think if I had actually went out and planned my day or at least planned my week in a way that, this is, sole time for homework, sole time for this. I know I have this event, so I need to do everything right. You know what I mean? So I'm not submitting papers or assignments at 11:58 when it's due at 11:59 because nobody wants that stress. You know what I mean? That's unnecessary stress, and that's not good for your body at all. So, yeah, I think just managing my time more wisely. I love all the orgs that I'm involved in.
You wouldn't have done differently.
Yeah, like those orgs, no, I wouldn't have done nothing different. But just as far as like my schoolwork and everything else that I had going on, I definitely would have just been able. I just wanted to plan a little bit more. Yeah,
understandable. So, what advice would you give to nurses similar to you, or nurses trying to be like who look up to you?
Oh wow, look up to me. Made me feel like I'm Beyonce.
I'm letting y'all know Jennifer was the wind beneath one of my wings. My wings was falling down like this. Jennifer was like, "Here's some wind."
I try to help out where I can. I really do. If I have the time for it, like I will do. If you need my help and I'm able to provide it, I'll do it. You know what I mean? I guess it's just really just the type of person that I am. But as far as advice, obviously GPA is important.
Yes. C's do not get these master's degrees.
Okay. You need to keep your GPA high because as you advance in your education, the classes get smaller and smaller, which means the slots get smaller and smaller. Okay, so you need to be able to make sure that you're able to compete with all these other people that are going to be going in the same program as you. So, and with my program, like some of it is online. So there are people from other states too that are looking into going into this program. So you have to just make sure that you have to stand out above all the rest. So GPA is obviously important. What you do during your undergrad is obviously important too. So, like, I'm not gonna say, people who go to school and go home is lame or whatever, but
hey, you gotta make what you can of undergrad. I'm letting you know right now. I do not regret.
Right, you really have to make it be a great experience, and the only way you can do that is if you get involved. Find something that you like. There's so many different orgs over there. Like at FAU specifically, there's over 300.
Yeah, there's over 300 organizations that you can join.
So like and beyond like fraternity and sorority, like there's intramural sports. There's
BSU. There's NCNW, Women Empowerment Club, Columbia Creole. That's just to name a few.
So you have the cultural orgs, then you have the political orgs, you have the service orgs. There's just for fun orgs. I have seen people playing with swords on the lawn,
and the people who do the Harry Potter game,
right? Quidditch. That's an org, you know what I mean? And that's something that you're involved in. It's also a way to relieve stress, just like be yourself too. So why would you not do that? You know what I mean? And the more that you're involved in that org, so you can join committees, you can be in a leadership position, whatever it may be, that's gonna say, like this person, actually got something going on, as well as volunteering. That's also very important. Gotta volunteer, gotta give back to your community. So yeah, like things like that, GPA, involvement, and also have actual love for what you're doing. Because if I did not like nursing.
Oh, girl, if we did not like taking care of people.
Listen.
We would not be.
Right, because nobody trying to tend to these patients, wipe butts, do all this other stuff.
Girl.
Like the very
see you at side. Your lowest. I'm talking about some of y'all
screaming in pain. It
got
can,
maggots in your leg.
Ooh, maggots in your butt.
This is us just loving it.
Okay, if you don't love it, don't do it, because it's gonna show in your work. It's gonna show in what you want to do, like continuing in that field. So actually be passionate about what you're doing. It's going to show. So, because you're going to have to write like essays and things like that for when you are trying to get into the program. So like, what are you going to write in the essay if you don't?
Definitely.
You know what I mean? So be passionate about what you're doing in your life.
Definitely. So that concludes our interview for today. So Jennifer, let the people know where they can find you.
What is my Instagram? I'm not going to lie. Oh, okay. My Instagram is at JennyDXO. That's at JENNIDXO. Twitter is JennyDXOXO. Okay. So go ahead and follow me on there. I actually have a little project that I'm working on.
Yes, girl. Yes.
Yeah.
Do you want to discuss about it or you want to wait?
I'm going to wait because I'm not completely done with it. I want everything to be set up before I let people know.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, I got a little something coming up as far as, like, my journey through getting my doctorate. So, yeah, stay tuned.
All right. Thank you guys for listening today. Today we had Miss Jennifer Deneus on the Haitians in Medicine podcast, where she spoke about her journey a year later now that she's a nurse and what her future plans are. So make sure if you have any questions to either DM her or DM us. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube page at Blada Knows Best and on our Instagram page at Haitians in Medicine. Thank you for listening. Bye.
Thank you.